Fields, huh? This is not a good map for balance landing. I think there is only 2 spots for balance landing. 1, dropping down basement stairs. 2, dropping off the harvester that's somewhere across the map, which can be good. It's got a Huntress as well. Not a great map for her because there's a lot of corns. She will struggle with throwing hatchets unless she has good line of sight. She's come for me straight away. That was a quick wind up. You notice that? Let's see how she plays this. She's going to need to be careful. This is a loop that she can't do. She can do well on, but she needs to play it right in order to do well on it. She pre-winds a lot. This is giving me a lot of knowledge and information into how she's playing. Yeah, look. But I'm not too big of a fan of Blythe because when I want to use Windows against a killer, I am slightly cucked in that sense, just like then when I was forced to use my exhaustion perk just to try and, you know, get away from her. But I didn't want to leave the loop. I just wanted to take the window, you know. So I'm not too huge on Lithe, but it is what it is, chat. It's been used. So the thing about Huntress is that Huntress is 110% movement speed killer. She's one of the slower ones. Her ability is throwing hatchets, as you can tell. However, when she does wind up hatchets, she is obviously a little slower than her actual movement speed. This hinders her because if she winds up at the wrong time, like what I did to her several times, you're already going around the corner and then she has to put her hatchet away. She then has to become even slower and then catch up to you again, so on and so forth. She's got Iron Maiden based on the fact that Bill jumped out of the locker and screamed. Only reason why Bill screamed is because of Iron Maiden. In fact, we can test it ourselves. Iron Maiden. Let's just try down 1. Yeah, you're exactly correct. So in this sort of situation, look, as Huntress, remember this chat, if you're playing Huntress on a map like this, don't respect. Don't pre-wind the pallet. Don't pre-wind the pallet unless you're guaranteed a hit. Now, what I mean by this chat is that if she's chasing me around here, around we go, and now if she gets to a point where she's quite close behind me, not close enough for M1, but close enough to wind a hatchet and throw it, that's when you should do it. Now, I say that, but let me explain. So the Huntress is chasing me around and around we go. She doesn't respect. She runs through. That's good. Now, she gets to a point where she's quite close. Now, she doesn't want to lunge here because she knows that I'll make the stun. So she can take the opportunity knowing that she's close enough that she can sidestep and pre-wind. If I run through, then she can throw it down the line and get me before I can make the corner and get away. So the key thing is if you're running a Huntress, you've got someone here, pre-wind straight away. And a good survivor will either come out and then try and flick right and then cut down here and get away from you. Right? Or your other survivor will just come and throw the pallet instantly to try and get away from you. Then you throw your hatchet and get a quick hit and then you get the pallet as well. Or a survivor who's a little too confident will try and push around the corner as fast as they can, but you've already pre-winded for that move that they're going to do, and you're throwing down, you're catching them here. Though keep in mind, they may come down and hug the wall, then flick out to the left to try and get you to throw down, to get you to miss, then flick back right and come down. Because once you throw a hatchet, you do have a bit of a cooldown and a slight reduction in speed that will give them enough time to make one more loop back around the pallet, and then correct their previous mistake. So you do have to be quite careful, especially on a map like this as Huntress. It's not easy. It is quite difficult. She's lucky that she got Rotten Fields instead of any other coal wind farm map, because the other coal wind farm maps are really hard because they got a lot of really loops that are really high. This map does as well, but the majority of this map is actually really open, which means that you can actually still get quite a lot of good throws in if you know what you're doing as Huntress. Huntress is one of those killers that you need to play every single day and just practice. That's why when I play Huntress, I practice throwing hatchets. That's all I do. I throw hatchets, I throw hatchets, I throw hatchets, I throw more hatchets, you know? I'm always throwing hatchets. 1, it's fun. 2, you learn. And 3, you can start to roll. Because you need to learn that survivor movement. You need to learn and get used to, you know, predictable movements that survivors will make against a Huntress. It's very important. Cool. Nice. I like her patience. She still missed though, thankfully. I really like her patience. M1, no, M. Oh, Huntress. Oh, no, what are you doing? Come on, I'm right here. No, what are you doing? She needs help. She needs help, chat. And that leads me to my second point of Huntress, chat. Don't be too patient. Look, it's good to hold up your hatchet. It's good to let the survivors spin all their moves out, do all their dance moves. That's great. But, you know, don't be too patient. Because when you're too patient, the pressure builds up on you. You get there and they start doing their moves. You start reading them. But before you know it, you're not... They're like... I guess in a sense, too many movements happen for you to keep in your head. Too many movements are happening. And I guess you just screw up. I've done it before. I've been way too patient with hatchets and then just throwing them right into the ground, trying to hit the guy. So good, be patient, but don't be too patient because eventually you actually start screwing up by how patient you're being. Inside trying my sergeant, long way ahead. Yeah, exactly. ISO. A lot of practice. What key are you holding when looping around the wall? I am holding... Excuse me. I'm holding W. I'm tapping D. I'm now letting go of W and holding down D because that's making me move sideways and I can now look behind me while holding the killer. I'm now turning my mouse and tapping W to make sure that yes, I'm still moving this way holding D, but I'm see the gap between me and the wall. So I'm holding down D, but I'm also tapping W. If not holding down W and D, that way I'm hugging the wall. So that way I get the most tightest impossible loop. So I'm coming around holding D, but I'm also holding W. And I'm moving my mouse, holding D, W, moving my mouse, 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 moving my mouse. That's all. Mouse movement is quite key to hugging loops tightly, though doing it this way can be quite risky. That's why I prefer to do a bit of tapping. I prefer to tap down and hold W for a little bit and then let go. Let my D do all the work. Hold down W, let go. Hold down W, let go, and let D do all the work. W, D, W, D, W, W, D, W. And when I say W, I mean as in I'm still holding down D, but I'm also holding down W at the same time. I'm holding down D, holding down W as well. Let go. Only D, W. Now W and D. Just D. Coming through. W and D. Holding down D. W as well. Oh, excuse me. W as well as D. Yeah, so both. Like things like that will be key to helping you, you know, hug loops tighter and get more out of the loop you're running around. It'll also help you when the killer goes for a lunge on you that looks like it's going to hit, but if you hug that loop tight enough, you'll actually cut the corner and then she'll hit the side of the car. Thank you guys for watching. Just a quick reminder that I do stream every single day from 9 AM to 5 PM GMT plus 10. Links will be in the description below. Come over from the YouTube community over into the Twitch stream. I'd love to see some more of you guys come in and say hi. That'd be really lovely and amazing. And again, thank you all so much for watching.